Season 1. Season 1. With this Habs team. Let the tank begin. Let the tank begin. Season opener against the Leafs. We lose 5-1. Good start. Good start. That's what we wanted. For some reason, Carey had that weird thing where he started the game but then got taken out. It's all well and good. We lose our first 2 games. Burn through all of the last Drive to Survive. Drive to Survive is a great show. There might be some manufactured drama, but it is still a phenomenal show. As we are 0-2-1 to start the season. Let's go. Yes, sir. You know what? I got it. I got it. I got it. So in terms of scouting, in the Pittsburgh Challenge, obviously we had it be, if we accomplish our goals for the season, we earn scouts. I don't necessarily want to do that this time. But I also don't necessarily want this to be like a draft of glory.
Oh, good for
But what
you.
we're going to do, Master Tom, thank you for the follow. What we are going to do in this series, I am only allowed to have scouts from the QMJHL. I am allowed to draft whoever I want and go against the grain. But I am only going to be allowed to have scouts from the Q. There is that new emphasis. It has been province mandated that I have more of an emphasis on scouting players from our own backyard. Does that mean I will only take players from our own backyard? No, I'm allowed to have anybody. But we are only going to have scouts from the Q. For the memes. For the memes. So it won't be a full draft of glory, only, you know, Quebecois players. It won't be that. Or Quebec-born players, whatever. But for the memes, I will only have a scout from the Q. I'm allowed to draft other people because Lord knows they've loved drafting, you know, their Finns at times, but we'll go with that as Sam Besser drops a lovely 5 gifted sub bar.
Oh, we're doing this again.
The media will be in love with you. Well, that is the point, my good sir. As someone of French heritage, I already fit the job. This is my win. This is my win right here. And my way to appeal to the media and get them on my side. We will only have French-focused scouts. I might still take an American or two. Because Trevor Timmins will never fully be gone. He'll never fully leave. You'll never fully get rid of Trevor Timmins and his desire to draft the Michael Mathesons of the world. But you know, or not Michael Mathesons, Mike McCarron's too much Pittsburgh franchise. But yeah, goddamn. Goddamn. Sam, thank you for that, by the way. Greatly appreciated. How the heck are you? I hope you're doing well. You're gonna get all the gems from the queue. We'll see. It might work out. It might work out. So like I said, I'm not necessarily only going to draft players from the queue, but this way I'm going to have to be pretty damn sure if I do end up taking someone from outside of the queue. I'm going to have to be pretty sure. Oh, this is one of the dumbest ideas I've ever had. I don't know if I'll stick with it, but at least for season 1, we'll have the queue scouted out very, very well. Let's march on. As we finally win a game this season, it's against Detroit. Good job, boys. You won a game, and then we lost 3-0 to the Kraken. Ugh. And then to the Sharks. This is beautiful. Did I see the Bruins lineup for tonight? I did, and I don't want to talk about it because it's ridiculous that they're still going to play. Just like it was ridiculous that the Islanders and Sharks played with AHL lineups. Hey, 2-0 shutout for Jake Allen. Don't look out. You know, don't look out. Don't look out. Don't look out. Don't look now. How How can Carey Price possibly play like a good goalie as an 84? He has to be a 92. Sorry, anytime Carey Price does well, I'm going to make fun of people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Jays, I loved it. It was great. You could kind of tell around the half-hour mark when it didn't end what was coming, but 5, 6, and 2. Honestly, Carey might be too good for us to tank. Also, I don't even want to say what I'm thinking right now. 2-0 shutout win for Price over the Red Wings. All right, Mr. Allen, you get to play against the Bruins. And we lose 2-0. I'm so upset that we lost to Boston. My God, I'm so upset. Oh, it's awful. I am the most upset boy right now. Can't you tell? Can't you tell how upset I am right now? It's a shame. God, isn't it a shame? I wanted to see if injuries were off. They're not. We've just gotten very lucky so far. Until now, there we go. All I had to do was mention it. So we lose to Pittsburgh. Beautiful. I mean, 8, 9, and 3. It's kind of right where we want to be. I can't imagine us having a weaker record than this. The Red Wings are getting just pooped on this year. They still have just 3 wins in 21 games. 3 wins in 21 games. Carey Price is an 84. He could never put up good numbers in franchise. Nope, no. It's not because franchise random as hell and it doesn't even really matter. Nope. All right, Mr. Clegg. Let's get Wallet out of there. Get you back in. Actually, no, it was going to be Sammy Niku, but that's all right. At least this way Niku can play. Let's keep moving on. So we get pooped on against Pittsburgh. Poor Jake Allen, sub 900. Okay, Weidman's fully healthy. We do lose the Belzile. Okay. Let us call up Teasdale, I guess. He fits the bill of what we're looking for. Taps modified rules. Not exactly the same rules for the Penguins. A little bit less restrictive to try and make things just a little bit more free-flowing. But similar idea of we're not going to do anything too crazy. God, I guess we'll get Vedemo in there for now. There's 3-2 loss to the Canucks. Cam Hillis goes down to injury. Belzile is back. The Belzile. Send Teasdale down. The fuck is Jesper Froden? They signed him from Sweden heading into this year. So, at least has professional experience. Will be his NHL debut, though. A 1-0 shutout win. We've actually won a couple games in a row. It's not necessarily ideal. Can't keep Carey down. God, we're already halfway through December. Jesus, I didn't even realize we're just kind of going for it. Jesse Lannen gets hurt for the Laval Rockets. And Chris Weidman gets hurt for Montreal. So let's see who we have. It's true, Rich. It's true. It's gonna be Christmas before you know it. Let's call up Xavier Ouellet. Hawkeye, I don't know, man. Why do you play this game online? That's the real question. All right. Let's march on. We did lose to Pittsburgh. That's good. Philadelphia, 5-0 win over the Flyers. Jesus. 5-0 loss to the Bruins. Oh no. I'm so upset. We lose to the Islanders, who are actually simming well for once, and we lose to the Rangers. Beautiful. Again, we want to replicate how bad the Habs are IRL. Higher draft pick, the better. As we get a 4-0 shutout from Jake Allen. Of course, Jake Allen with his second shutout of the year. Hoffman leading the team in points says a lot. It really does. We'll be taking a look at the stats as of January 1st. Normally I check in December, but we'll check in January. It'll be about the midway point of the season. And there we go. Happy New Year, everybody. So, as of January 1st, 17, 16, and 4. It's not bad in terms of our desire to tank. We are... Wow. So the Bruins have freaking 5 games in hand. Nugent, thank you for the follow. The Red Wings suck. The Sens aren't much better. The Sabres aren't technically out of it, but it is Lightning, Leafs, Panthers at the top. No real surprise. The Metro, it is the Rangers, Jackets, and Canes. Penguins aren't far behind. The Devils and Flyers absolutely suck. They're really the only team out of it right now. Those two. In the Pacific, Knights, Flames, and Oilers. The Sharks suck. The Kings kind of suck. The Kraken might not be totally out of it because the Ducks have a wild card spot. Go figure. Bruce, there it is. And in the Central, Avs, Blues, and Wild. The Coyotes absolutely suck. So the Lightning right now are the top team in the NHL. Technically, it's the Blue Jackets on point percentage. Interesting. Bottom 5, Coyotes, Red Wings, Sens, Flyers, Sharks. In terms of goals for, oh my god, the Red Wings are averaging less than 2 goals for. We have one of the worst offenses in the league. Boy, it's almost like Carey Price can still lead this fucking Habs team to be half decent, even though he's only an 84, which is a realistic overall for him because it's not 2015 anymore. Anyway. Anyway. Goals against average is a 2.57. Power play is at 14%, which is abysmal. The PK, somewhere in the middle. Kelly, to the Advocate. What's going on, guys? How are you? All right. So, for our team, Hoffman does lead the way in points. Dvorak on 24, Gallagher on 23, Anderson 23, Toffoli 22. Nick Suzuki only has 10 points. Pizzetta has 5. Bill's Isle with 4. Evans only has 4 points. Come on, Jake. And then Paquette with 3. Hoffman does have 21 goals, though, which is great. Defensively, Petrie, 24 points, and then... Jesus. Okay. All right. That's our defense. We're only getting points. Weidman has the passing boost and isn't doing anything with it. And then, yeah, goaltending's been solid. I mean, Price at a 9.16. It isn't surprising since he's played 32 games, so it's dropped a little bit. Around the league. Ovechkin, Matthews, Draisaitl, Goodrow, Nylander, Scheifele, Malkin, Buchnevich, and Hyman. Top point getters in the league so far. Top goal scorer, Ovi's hit 30, Matthews on 26, Perron's on 24. So Hoffman's top 4, tied with Scheifele. Surprised to not see Draisaitl and McDavid up there. Surprised. Again, if that doesn't lend to the randomness of franchise, I don't know what does. Draisaitl is up there, of course, though, for points, so maybe that was the deal. Defensively, 38 points for Adam Fox, 35 from Makar. Yossi and Hedman are up there. Hamilton, Krug, Carlson, D'Angelo, and Werenski. D'Angelo's leading the way for goals. Werenski and Makar have also hit double digits, though. 5 goals, 33 assists for Fox, 1 and 33 for Yossi. For the goalies, the winningest right now, Shesterkin, Smith, and Vassy. Really, it's Vassy in terms of the games played. Shutout leader is Mike Smith. Varlamov is destroying worlds through the halfway point of the season, though. Barry Trotz hockey back in full effect. Craig Anderson is destroying worlds on a bad Sabres team. Damn. And for the rookie race, Trevor Zegras. Boy, look at that. Turns out just because he's a handful of points behind Lucas Raymond doesn't mean he can't crush it in franchise and already be up 3 overall points to an 82 before the midway point of the season. Again, I don't mind having to answer the same questions over and over again because not everyone sees it here's the answer. But I wouldn't set up Trevor Zegras as a 79 at the start if it doesn't mean that he'd probably end up getting the overall that he really does deserve by the end of the first season in franchise anyway. The 3-year scale doesn't really screw him over. I'm shocked. This is the worst I've seen Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider sim, but again, Detroit's just brutal this year, so I guess it makes sense. So that is the January 1st update. Let's keep going. We don't really have too much to change about our team, aside from just keep hoping that we continue to suck. We even took out some of our better players to ensure that we suck. So Chris Weidman is back. We will send Xavier back down. And get Chris Weidman back in there. Nice little -3 with Edmondson. That wasn't the case before. It might be glitched. We lose to Toronto. We lose to Buffalo. Playing the 9-1 in their last 10 Blue Jackets next. We lose to them in a shootout. Boston. We lose to them again. Beautiful. I think we're 0-3 against the Bruins this year. Get Jake Allen in to play the the Hawks, I was going to say. There we go. 4-1 win. Jake Allen's actually been okay this year. Go figure. Go figure. Fortunately, Carey's save percentage is really starting to drop. The injuries are playing too much of a factor. I did just realize again, as I always do, I always forget to change up the AHL. Let's get Sam Montembeault some games. Caden Primo already has 40 games on the season. He's dead tired. New Jersey, we win 3-2. Arizona, we lose 5-4. I mean, losing to the Coyotes actually is a great thing. They're competition in the Tank Bowl here. We lose to Dallas. We have a couple of overtime and shootout losses so far, though. That's not helping us. Up to 6 on the year. Vegas, we lose 2-1. Beautiful. Colorado, we lose 5-1. Beautiful. Minnesota, we win 5-2. That's not ideal. And Anaheim, we win 3-2. Also not ideal. 23, 22, and 6, though. That is honestly about as bad as we could have hoped for. We lose 4-1 to Edmonton. And the final game of January, we shut out the Blue Jackets 5-0. So 24, 23, and 6. The wild card, I mean, so right now, top of the Atlantic is Tampa, Florida, and Toronto. In the Metro, it's the Blue Jackets, Islanders, Canes, Rangers, and Penguins. So the Caps have actually simmed pretty bad. The Devils and Flyers are horrible. So 62 points. We're 8 points out of a playoff spot right now, which is beautiful. We are very unlikely to make it, especially look at how many games we played compared to the Bruins. We are very unlikely to make the playoffs at this point. Central is Colorado, St. Louis, Winnipeg. Again, Arizona is trash at just 28 points through 48 games. And then the Pacific is Vegas, Calgary, Anaheim with Edmonton and Seattle. Seattle? Didn't expect them to bounce back and be in a playoff spot. So right now, 20th in the league. It is going to be pretty difficult to finish with top odds. Actually, it's impossible for us to finish with top odds. We will turn trading back on for the deadline. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do at the deadline and if I just want to sell off some pieces to this team. I might. Holy shit, we're off until the 26th. Good lord. That February break always sneaks up. All right, we play Ottawa as Josh Anderson suffers a concussion. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Let's call up Laurent Dauphin. Mr. Dauphin. Let's get you in there. Put Hoffman back on the right. And we'll get Jonathan Drouin on the second line for a couple of games. We can only make this team so bad at this point, you know? Like, we're trying. We're trying our best. Let's go best lines here. See how bad it ends up being. Pull that out from Montembeault. Get Primo back in there. Honestly, we'll run with best lines for the moment because we're going to have to change things up anyway. So we lost to Ottawa. Brendan Gallagher now the team leader in points. Winnipeg. Boy, Josh Anderson was only out for 2 games. He's actually back ahead of schedule. Let's send down Dauphin. Let's get Mr. Anderson back in here. And again, we'll go best lines in the AHL. Get Caden Primo some more games. Beautiful. It did show Caulfield up to a 79, which is really good news for us. He'll be a beast for us as soon as next year. Again, we'll go best lines. We did beat Calgary. Edmonton. Carey Price shuts out McDavid and Draisaitl. Vancouver is next. Back-to-back 4-0 victories. Carey Price on a tear. We are really going to have trouble now. Trying to have great lottery odds. Price up to 6 shutouts on the year. We'll play Allen against Seattle, in which Mike Hoffman gets hurt with a pulled groin. Leading goal scorer Mike Hoffman goes down to injury. I would call up Caulfield, but I just don't want to disrupt any momentum that he has. Let's just call up Dauphin again. Why not? No reason to yo-yo Cole Caulfield. Nicole Caulfield. We'll just let him be. Let him be, let him be. Trying to avoid using best lines at the NHL level until after the deadline. If I even turn on trades for the deadline, which again I often don't like to because again the AI goes fucking nuts at that first trade deadline. But also, I mean, hey, we don't know IRL what's going to happen at the deadline. Shit could go crazy. So nice 3-2 win there over Seattle. Carey should be back in. Let's get him in there. Against Philadelphia, we lose. That's good. Arizona, where Joel Edmondson gets hurt. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Let's see. We'll go for Xavier again one more time. Why not? Romanov's also up to a 77. It's pretty good news. Again, we're trying to shield our younger talent from this nightmare of a season we're currently undergoing. 2-0 win over the Coyotes. We played the Dallas Stars and lose 6-0. So now is the time where we have to decide whether or not we are turning on trades this year or not. Now is the time. I am scared. I think we do it. Let's see. We had it turned off against Pittsburgh. Let's see what the hell happens. Computer trading. Let's turn it back on, and we'll see if the deadline gets kind of crazy. Let's go. So we play Ottawa. We will list ourselves as sellers, and we will enter the deadline. Let's see what happens. So Hurdle, Pavelski, Fleury, Ekholm, Iafallo, DeHaan, Talbot, Edler, Radulov, Deneau are the top names out there right now. I will actually go to find a trade. And goalie-wise, we're fine. We're fine to just leave it as is. Defensively, there really wasn't anything to worry about there either in terms of who to get rid of. As Seattle makes the first trade, a second, a third, and Ostman for Leah Bushkin and Kessel. So Phil Kessel off to the great Pacific Northwest. I would like to move on from some of our healthy scratches, though. So, like Matthew Perreault. What can I get? A third and a fourth. Killinen, Tiksola, Shaman Rufsov, Scott Perunovich. Wouldn't necessarily want to get him, though. Hollowell, Abramov. 2/3 from the Jets. Interesting. And then Dylan Sandberg. I mean, we can send Matthew Perreault back to the Jets. 2/3 is a little bit steep, but let's do it. We'll send Matthew Perreault back to the Winnipeg Jets. We'll go for it. The Rangers make a trade, sending Zach Jones to Chicago for Calvin DeHaan. So the Rangers are definitely going for it this year. I hate to do it as well, but again, Arturi Lehkonen has also been a scratch all year. Second and a third from Boston. I prefer not to trade him to the Bruins. Calgary, we could get a second and a fourth. Wyatt Johnston's available. Radulov, bring him back to Montreal. Things did go to shit. Again, I'm not looking to do any deals that are going to rip the AI. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I think we have to do it. Lehkonen for Subban in a fifth. I think we have to bring PK back. There are obviously other deals here that make sense. Again, I'm not looking for the most value in the world because we haven't been playing Lehkonen this year. PK Subban, welcome back to Montreal. Let's do it. And then the other trade was for whom? We got rid of Lehkonen. Oh, it was Paul Byron. That's who else hasn't played this year that we need to get rid of. Third and a fourth. 2/3. I mean, for the most part, like I said, that Winnipeg trade, it's like, okay, let's get the extra picks, but at least Perreault had been on the team before. This time out, not really looking for too much. Tyler Ennis and a third. Zach Sanford. Like I said, I'm not really looking for guys that I have to play in the lineup. We might take the picks. 2/3 from Boston. I don't really want to make a deal with Boston. I think a third and a fourth was the best that we had available. There is technically that second rounder, and we take Chris Tierney away. But honestly, no, that's not worth it at all. That would be just completely ripping them off. I could buy that Seattle would do something as dumb as a third and a fourth for Paul Byron, especially because they just bought and added Phil Kessel. I'm going to take that third and a fourth from Seattle and not completely rip off Ottawa. So, I think that is our business done. Like I said, we're going to hold off on any major trades moving forward, but we at least moved on from the guys that we weren't allowed to use this year, and we'll give them a chance to play elsewhere. So let's see what other craziness happens at the deadline. What do we got? Iafallo gets traded to Dallas along with a fourth for Ryan Suter in 2 seconds. So Ryan Suter was not long for the LA Kings. Seattle is going all in. They acquired Ekholm, Eric Stahl, and a 7th from Nashville for a 1st and a 2nd. God damn. And those were the blockbusters. Marcus Johansson is on waivers. Honestly, yeah, let's claim him. Why not? Let's claim him. So let's see what other deals happened. You have Tucker Pullman dealt to the Sabres. There you go, Vancouver, whoever your new GM is. It was a 3rd and Will Butcher for a 2nd, a 3rd, and Tucker Pullman. Extreme Gamer, what's happening? I'm doing good. Toronto acquires Nick Cousins in a 4th for a 2nd, a 5th, and David Camp. Joe Pavelski is now in Minnesota, along with a 3rd for Marat Kuznetsov and Philip Johansson. Blake Como gets dealt to Philadelphia, along with a 3rd for Bobby Brink, a 5th, and a 7th. So, good deal for Dallas. Seattle is Sam Besser with the gifted sub. 208 total, Sam. You're 6th of the day. That was a tier 3. What's the matter with you? Happy birthday, Sam. Jesus. Or should I say happy payday? My God. Oof. Sam, thank you, though. God damn. We saw the Ekholm deal. We saw the Iafallo deal. Justin Hall to Detroit for a 3rd. Rowney and Nemesnikov. Justin Hall finally off the Leafs. Alex Radulov to the Rangers for a 2nd and Olaf Lindbaum. Cogliano and a 3rd to Philly for Rubtsov, a 3rd and a 4th. Pittsburgh gets Halak in a 4th from the Canucks for Blomqvist, Lindbergh, and a 2nd. So clearly the Penguins, the Penguins have some things in mind for what to do in goal. Yaroslav Halak acquired. Galchenyuk back to the Leafs for Alex Kerfoot and a 1st. That is not because of Galchenyuk's value, I promise. Unless Galchenyuk's having a monster year, because his trade value is in the dumps. Like, he's only like a 78, and he has no X factors. We're going to have to look at that. Huh. He must be having a monster year. It's the only thing that makes sense. Edler to the Panthers for Saron Noel and John Ludwig. That's a fairly realistic deal. Mark Pysyk to Winnipeg for Ville Heinola in the 7th. Maybe Pysyk's having a good year in Buffalo. Nick Ritchie a 3rd and a 6th to Dallas for John Klingberg. So the Stars move on from John Klingberg. My God, Toronto better win the Cup. Nick Bonino and Alex Barabanov to Calgary for a 2nd. Ruzicka and Valimaki moved on from. Calgary's going for it, though. Jinning O'Brien and Kevin Hayes to the Coyotes for Johan Larsson and Anton Strawman. So the Coyotes take on the Kevin Hayes deal. I told you the AI go nuts with the trades on. Tanner Pearson and a 7th to New Jersey for Freddie Gauthier, a 2nd and a 3rd. So the Canucks move on from Tanner Pearson's contract. We brought back Subban. Eric Gustafsson picked up by the Avs, basically in exchange for Martin Kaut. Connor Zary and Milan Lucic to Ottawa for Nick Holden and Nick Paul. So the Flames have to get rid of Zary to move on from that Lucic deal, and we saw they made other moves. Calvin DeHaan in the 3rd to the Rangers for a 1st and Zach Jones. Matt Benning a 4th and a 6th to the Canucks for a 2nd and a 3rd. Then the Liabushkin Kessel deal for Ostman, a 2nd and a 3rd. So yeah, the AI, they went nuts. We need to take a look at Alex Galchenyuk, because I know his trade value is low. Trevor Zegras is an 85, by the way. This is still season 1. Oh my God, please don't tell me they traded for him and have him scratched. Yeah, I mean, he was having a good year. 32 points in 50 games. Excuse me, he does have one X factor, that being all alone. It's still a drastic overpayment, but I can understand why his value might have been amplified. That's not bad. I mean, they also traded for Nick Cousins. They got Nemesnikov. They got Carter Rowney. So the Leafs went crazy, but then again, they also picked up John Klingberg. So Toronto went nuts, as did most teams. But clearly the Leafs are all in, as you'd expect. All or nothing, one might say. So our team now, still got Allen and Price. It's all well and good. I'm going to call up Montembeault and just have him chill there. Defensively, PK is hurt, by the way. So we have Petrie, Savard, Subban. So technically Weidman stays on the left. It's Edmondson, Kulak, Sherratt. We do want to send Romanov back down. Apparently I would be over the cap. So hopefully it lets me send Romanov down. The Subban claim might have been too much. And then forward-wise, I would also like to send down Caulfield and Paling, please. I don't quite understand how I'd be so far over the cap when I have so many players that are hurt. How exactly? I see the cap space that it's telling me. But I don't really understand. I don't really understand how we're that up against the cap. Like, Romanov gives us space. I know the skater issue is there too, but like, it won't let me make that move, even though I'd be shedding cap. So it's completely scuffed until players are back from injury, and it allows me to properly make moves. So there's basically nothing I can do. So we will just set these lines up as best we can. We'll at least have Paling on that third line. It bumps up Caulfield to the top line. Obviously, we have the issue of an improper lefty-righty balance. We'll just deal with that. Also, Suzuki's up to an 89. So, player development's still nuts. Let's play Romanov with Savard, because apparently that's a good idea. So yeah, for the moment, our roster's kind of scuffed, but we'll do what we can as we move forward here. But, yeah, I'm going to have to make that decision for the rest of the year. If we start a new franchise, do we run with trade deadline on or off? Because you can see how crazy it is.